so thirsty today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Parched.
Maybe you're due on.
Mm-mm. I am currently in my follicular phase.
Living your best life.
Not quite yet. Nearly. I'm on my way.
I am in my luteal phase.
Are you?
Yeah. Live period symptoms.
Yeah.
Going.
Live in action.
Cheers.
Cheers. Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Oh, that's great.
Lovely. Hello everyone and welcome back. If you saw episode, well, no, actually that's just introduction episode. You'll get to know me and Jade a little bit more. But if you're with us for episode 1, hi. This one is about the menstrual cycle, and love this topic because I think it merges both of our like beauty side but also fitness side together, and love that. So yeah, we're gonna dive in, but first, how's your week been?
Yes, very good, thank you. Very well. Quite
good.
Productive, actually.
Very good.
Yeah,
that's
yours?
Good. Yeah, same actually. A bit of a mixture of things, of office work, seeing clients, but yeah, love that. I'm just a bit all over the place, but that's what I like.
We normally are.
That's
to be
what
fair,
I like best. So yeah, we will get into it. Fit One Hot One podcast episode
Uno
one,
isn't it?
Yeah,
Uno one.
Enan, which is Greek for one.
There we go.
Right. Okay. So do you want to kick off with your beauty side of it? Thought what we would do is go through how skin works, not how skin works, but
that's another episode.
What your skin should look like, beauty side, that kind of thing of like your menstrual cycle, and then we'll go through the fitness side of things with your menstrual cycle. So fire away, Jade, because I didn't realise how, I'm just looking at your notes, how much it changes.
Yeah. So I do have notes because there's so much. But I won't go too in depth because we'll be here for hours.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about it on a really basic level as if we're all the same, which we know we aren't.
Yeah.
And it's based around 28 days.
Fine.
Just makes life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So let's talk menstrual cycle starts day 1, the day you first bleed.
Yeah.
At that bit there, what you find is your estrogen and your progesterone are at an absolute low. Mm-hmm. So when they're really, really low, we tend to have quite dry and sensitive skin. Mm-hmm. So that's at the time of us actually bleeding. So at that point in your cycle, hydration is key. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that is hydration on the inside and on the outside. Okay.
Okay.
When we then go into the follicular phase, so we're talking just after we've bled. Mm-hmm. This point here, our estrogen starts to rise slowly though. So at this point, it's not at its peak yet. So as it starts to rise, estrogen works at the point of when our skin starts to build collagen and elastin, and it also works to retain water. So what you can sometimes find is your skin actually looks more hydrated at this point.
Yeah.
Also, our pain threshold is phenomenal at this point.
What, like it's really good?
Yeah. So if you have Hollywood waxes, Brazilian waxes, laser hair removal, that's your time to get it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Ovulation. So at ovulation, what you'll tend to find is our skin is glowing. Mm-hmm. Glowing does actually mean that really we are just kind of sweating a little bit too, though.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because that will actually tie into what I will be talking about in a minute. But
there you go. See, there's already a link.
Yeah.
So although some of us love that and that looks great, what that actually means is we're getting a build-up of like sebum on our skin, so sweat. We're getting a build-up of that.
You lost me then.
Yeah, lost you. I saw your face look up like, what's she going on about now?
Sebum.
So we get like a bit of a build-up of that.
Okay.
A build-up of that is actually what then leads to the next phase of when we get spots, unfortunately.
Okay,
so it's kind of like, hi, let me give you really nice glowy skin, but in a week's time, that's going to give you spots.
Watch what I'm going to do to you.
Yeah, you wait. You wait. So yeah, that annoyingly is kind of what that bit there means. And then when you're in your fertilization stage, so right at your end stage, that's normally when you get like your premenstrual acne, unfortunately.
Okay.
So that is like a little loop round of what happens. Okay,
fine. All right. Well, so when it comes to training, I'm going to go off of, same with Jade, that your menstrual cycle is 28 days. Day 1 is the bleed. Down to day 28. I know it does vary a lot with people, but that's just what we're going to go off. So you can kind of split it between like 2 halves. So you can do your first half as in you're feeling this is when you're living your best life. So bar like the first couple days of your period where you get cramps, you don't feel very good, you don't really feel like training. After that, that is when you should be like peaking with your sessions right up until day 14 when you ovulate. So that first half, that is when you should try and hit PBs. Maybe your confidence is up. Maybe you're trying new things in the gym and you're just feeling great going into sessions. That is that bit, which then ties into like looking good as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Then after, so like that second half between day 14 and day 28, that's when... And also this first half is part of estrogen, so that's what's making you feel like you're living your best life. When you go into your second half, that is when your hormones start to change slightly, and that is when you start to feel like maybe there's a slight increase in knee injuries as well at that time. You start to feel more fatigued. You also sweat a lot more as you lead up to day 28. So that is when training may take a little bit of a dip. And yeah, that's kind of how training goes. When it comes to working out and looking at your menstrual cycle and then also looking at your training plan, best of all, you need to like check in with yourself to see how you're feeling. I know like all of these apps are great, like the Flow app is great. I use it myself. But it does chuck you out symptoms of how maybe you should be feeling. And
always.
Yeah. And sometimes, that like it could be right. But sometimes I look at that and it says that I should be having a headache and I'm like, oh my God, now I've got a headache.
Yeah.
Or, you should probably take your foot off the gas today, Natalie, because you are ovulating or whatever. And I'm like, no, but I feel great.
Yeah.
So it's great to look at those apps because it's good to know and it's good to have knowledge on how your body is changing throughout the month, but also check in with yourself. Now, this is if you are naturally going through the menstrual cycle. It can change due to pregnancy, obviously, menopause, also contraception as well, diet, like body weight. All of these things can really interrupt with your menstrual cycle. So these are all things to also consider.
Do things like polycystic ovaries and like endometriosis affect training as much as they affect skin?
I don't really know how much it affects skin.
Okay, a lot.
So, yes.
Yeah.
But then also, like, training, nutrition, yes.
Okay,
it can.
That's interesting.
Maybe that's another episode that we need to do.
Yeah, because I feel like that in itself is a whole new thing.
Yeah. So, in a nutshell, that's kind of how strength training would work. You live your best life between day 1 and day 14, loving it. Day 14 to day 28, maybe you won't feel as great. But that's like a little explanation as to how it can affect you. It's sometimes quite nice if you wake up and you're all spotty and you think, oh, fuck's sake, I'm so shit. And then you realise, oh, actually...
I'm actually at that point.
Yeah. Or if you're going into your training session, you think, oh my God, why am I like this? I just feel really crap at the moment.
Yeah.
Actually, this could be a reason why. So I think it's quite good to know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah? So we're going to go into some questions because we've got some questions from you lovely lot, which is great.
Yes,
we love getting questions in. So first one is about skincare.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything I can do to help my skin during my period?
Okay, so based upon that little bit of an overview that we done a minute ago, that's such a tough topic.
Yeah.
Because it really depends, like, at what point you're talking about in your menstrual. Well, if we're talking period, let's talk it that they're talking like the first bit when they're actually bleeding.
During my period, yeah.
Let's talk that's probably the best thing to do. So if that's what you're talking about, I'm going to assume that you're probably going through a phase where you've broken out a couple of days before and your skin has been really oily and now you're hitting mad dryness. It's probably what you're going to go into. So people always find that stage the hardest because you're going from one extreme to another, and that's because you've just had two hormones completely swap places. Is what's just happened. So best things to do in that point is make sure you're keeping on top of skin hygiene. And I know that sounds really obvious, but little things like you don't realise how much you put your phone against your face and how much like bacteria your phone can hold. Pillowcases, and like I said at the beginning, when you are dry, just really hydrate. Make sure you're like amping up with your moisturizers. Make sure that if you're using any form of actives, like you're using a hyaluronic acid. So you just want to use things that are going to give you hydration. Okay, yeah, you can go in at this point with things like a salicylic acid to help with like combating oiliness. But if I was you at this point where your skin is going through such a drastic change, like let it be a little bit.
Yeah.
Like don't try and fight it too much. Wait for like a week until your skin's calmed down and then go in and fight it.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Don't pop spots.
Don't pop spots, Natalie. No. And do you know what? We've all done, like, I'll be like, I have popped a spot. Hands
oh my
up.
God. I love popping spots, and it doesn't even have to be on my face. If Andy's got his top off and he's got one on his back, I'm like, oh my God, dream.
Do you know what they are?
I don't want to
know. What's in them?
I don't really want to know.
So, you pop in Andy's spot on his back. So you're going to get all of Andy's dead skin and bacteria all underneath your fingernails right now. That's what you're doing. Nice little... And then all of that yellowy pus is going to get stuck underneath your thumbnails, Nat. And then you're now rubbing your thumbnail all on your nose. So
I haven't just
bacteria all over your face.
I haven't just popped one.
No, you haven't now. But if you had done that, you're then so unaware of what you then go and do with your hands. But on a serious note, popping spots is a massive one because no one wants to really walk about with a whitehead on their face. I get it.
Yeah.
Use cotton buds. If anything, use cotton buds. They're clean. You can put them in the bin. That's the best thing. You will cause hyperpigmentation if you pop spots.
Yeah.
You'll probably spread the bacteria. You can even cause infections if you pop spots on your own face because you push the bacteria down further into your skin.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So...
that's going to be such a hard one.
Just have loads of cotton buds in your pocket or something at all times.
Yeah, and I feel like that's going to have to take a bit of getting used to.
It's a lot harder because you're meant to be gentle.
Yeah.
Like, at no point... You think when you've popped a spot, you've probably made yourself bleed.
You've
now got dents in your face because you've jabbed it so hard.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
I just don't think about spots being bacteria.
Yeah.
But I guess that is what it is.
They're literally bacteria, a build-up of sebum, dead skin.
I'm sorry, that word is just
I know, every time
funny.
I say it, I feel your skin go weird.
Sebum, I'm like, if you're watching us on YouTube, every time Jade says the word build-up of sebum, you'll see my face go...
like an ultimate cringe inside.
Right, okay, so I think we've got that then.
Yeah. And so now it's a question for you.
Yes.
A Natalie question.
Yes. Why do I have a week in the month where I don't feel very strong / tired? That, my friends, is remember I said the second half of your cycle, so your luteal phase. You always remember it, so the first half of your cycle is the follicular phase. Always remember it as F first. And then,
that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm not just a pretty face, am I? And then the later on one, luteal. So that is probably, you won't really find yourself too tired, too lethargic, lacking in strength until like the end part of your luteal phase. So just think like the week of your period or just before your period, so like 5 to 7 days before your period. That's probably when you'll start to feel it. So why do I have a week in the month where I don't feel very strong? That is it. Your hormones have changed.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
That's just what you feel. It may not be so how you feel for training can be a combination of so many things. Nutrition, your activity level, what you're doing throughout the day, how much you've slept, like so many areas can then equate to how you'll feel before your session. So just try and think of that. It's not always down to your menstrual cycle.
Is there anything you can do, like in that week, for instance? Like, I know if I feel tired, I crave sugar, and I know, like, I don't know if I should, or at that point, like, I crave so much sugar in like that week build up to my period, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm wanting to train and I'm trying to find a way to give myself more energy, should I be having, I don't know, like more carbs with more sugars in them to give myself energy?
Yeah, so you should actually have an increase in calories. Now, I'm not too sure actually how many calories that is, but I feel in my head it's like 10%. You should have 10% more calories like that week.
Part where you're more tired. Okay, makes sense.
Now, I don't know whether that's because your body's working harder. It's also warmer as well. Your body is warmer. So as Jade was saying, where your skin gets like more oily and you become more spotty, your body naturally gets warmer as well, which is probably why in your sessions you sweat more.
Yeah.
As well. And then that can also not make you feel very nice. If you're already sweating, like just as you've put your mat down to do your warm-up, like that doesn't feel very good.
Yeah.
So sorry, what was your question?
Glad it was important. No, you answered it. Should you probably eat more and have like more calories, more sugar on that week?
Yeah, so
I love that.
I mean, sorry.
Sorry, what did you say?
Sorry, how does this question and answers thing work again?
You have to answer it now.
I just talk. Yeah, so there is things that you can do, making sure that you're getting enough sleep, making sure that you're not actually, if you are highly affected in this stage, don't absolutely batter yourself within your session. Like maybe take your foot off the gas, take your foot off the gas, not a gas, take your foot off the gas. Maybe you could drop a set, or you could try and keep the same weights there but not do as many reps. Like just maybe keep yourself ticking over that week instead of like going for it and being disappointed.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. I find skincare hard. So I'm sometimes oily and sometimes dry.
Okay. Again, it's so interesting when you then look back at these questions now, isn't it? And how much they link everything.
Yeah.
So really, really normal to be sometimes oily, sometimes dry. That again is your massive change in hormone throughout the month. That's all that is. There's nothing, sounds bad, but there's nothing you can do about that. You're not going to ever be able to change it. You're not going to be able to be like, do you know what? I just want to be dry. I just want to be oily. 90% of us are a combination, and our menstrual cycle is why. So best thing probably to do with regards to skincare for that is have a set routine. So have your cleanser, your moisturizer, your serums, keep them the same 90% of the time. What you don't want to do is go and throw your skin off even more by what you're putting on top of it. Do you know what I mean? It's already having a whale of a time from what's going inside of you.
Yeah.
But swap between two toners, for instance. So have a salicylic toner. So salicylic really does help with like reducing sebum. You're welcome. And like obviously oiliness, breakouts, clogged pores. So using something like that, put that into your 2 weeks where your skin's more oily, And then your 2 weeks, swap to a really hydrating hyaluronic acid toner. Use that when your skin's living its best life, when you're really glowy, and just try and keep the interchangeables minimal. Yeah?
Yeah.
Another really good one, just like a spot treatment.
Yeah.
Get a little spot treatment, helps with mattifying, helps control it. They're normally anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and you just put it where it's needed.
So what, it's like a cream?
Yeah, so they're normally in like a really tiny little tube.
Yeah.
And you just squeeze a tiny bit of it out. It's like a gel sometimes as well. Yeah. And you just put it on where the pimple is.
Yeah.
And what you'll find 90% of the time is if it's hormone related spots, they're the bottom half of your face anyway.
Ah.
So you very rarely get like a spot on your forehead from your period. That's normally to do with like oily hair, not to do with your period. So why would you use a product on your whole face when only like your bottom part is having the issue?
I have such a funny story to tell about a forehead spot.
Oh no.
You know exactly what I'm going to say. So, we were in Cyprus for mine and Andy's wedding. This June just happened now. And it was the day before we were doing our church wedding. And everyone was arriving in Cyprus and they were all at this bar. Now, we had been on a boat with our close friends for the whole day, and I was windswept, I was tired, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to bed. Anyway, everyone was like, you are not going to bed, you are the bride, you're coming out. So anyway, I was like, oh fine, I'll come out. I love an early night, but apparently not.
Not then.
So it was about 10 o'clock, and I just went in my t-shirt and my shorts to this bar. Everyone was there, like it was so nice. We were having drinks. Anyway, Jade was there and she came up to me, and I'd been there roughly about 2 hours until Jade rocked up at about half 11. And she goes, she didn't even say hi. She goes, I'm sorry, what is that on your head? And I was like,
didn't you have like a patch on it?
What do you mean? Basically, on that boat day, I had a really bad spot right on my forehead, and one of my friends goes, Nat, have you ever tried a pimple plaster? I said, no, I haven't. She goes, you need to do it. She's just said, just pop the top of the spot and put this pimple plaster on. So I was like, okay, this sounds great. So I've got this plaster, big circle plaster on the front of my head, and I've turned up to this bar, the bride to be, with a pimple plaster in the middle of my forehead, and no one has said a thing for 2 hours. Then Jade comes waltzing in going, what the fuck is that on your head? Take it off now.
Terrible.
Honestly, brides to be, don't you worry about that. Like, I've prepped 2 years to look good for my wedding, and I turn up the night before in a pimple plaster on my head.
Honestly, it was just shining, because they're like plastic.
It's a plastic plaster.
And you were all hot. You were a little bit red because you'd been on the boat the whole day. And you just had this shiny circle right in the middle of your forehead.
I literally can't believe no one said anything. I was speaking to so many people. They were either too polite or too drunk. But oh my God. So that is my really funny thing about a spot on your head.
Yeah.
But that pimple plaster was so good.
Yeah.
I thought of all the things, I'm going to have a giant spot on my head for my wedding, but I actually didn't because of that plaster.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Round of applause for the plaster.
Thank you, plaster. Right. Last one. Is it dangerous to wear a tampon when weightlifting?
Yeah, no, I actually agree with that. You looked really confused then.
Well, yeah, it's not, by the way. It really isn't. You can wear a tampon, it's fine. It probably, if you can feel your tampon, it means that it's not actually in right. They've got this whole, which I just discovered this, because that's Scarlett Muffet has got a new, she's teamed up with Tampax. And their whole like slogan is like right up there, like something. Jade's face.
It was the fist.
Says
Stop
it. It's right, like they say, put it right up there, and there's like lines on the tampon that's where you're meant to put it on. That's where you're meant to take it to. So maybe that's why you feel like it's dangerous, because you can feel it. Oh my God, you're crying. Just a reference. And don't put the tampon up there with my fist.
Anyway, that's actually a good question.
No.
Because I do agree. I remember when I done training. Oh, way back when.
I remember when.
remember way back when. And it was when I was doing a squat. I think I was doing a squat with a bar, and I was tensing my core.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to push it out.
No, that's exactly what it is. It's like your deep inner core muscles and your pelvis that's like pulling it all in. That's why you can feel it. It's like your weeing muscles, isn't it?
Yeah. So, it's like the contraction.
Yeah, that's why you can feel it.
Fine.
If it's like dangling out the bottom, then yeah, you definitely feel that. But it's not dangerous. You can. I've seen online the like when people are filming their workouts and their menstrual cup flips during a session. Like, because it's very, especially with weightlifting as well, there's a lot of motion going on.
Yeah.
But I think you'll be just fine with a tampon in.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think that's all I have to add. I think we should leave it there.
Yeah. Enough of that. Watch the Scarlett Moffat advert.
Yeah, right up there.
Right up there.
I think there's enough. Missed it. Fuck's sake. Right, I think that's it. I'm done.
Really, questions.
I'm sweating and it's just going to cause spots.
It is. I think you're going to pop.
Call me
Right.
Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that one. Episode 1, what a fucking ride that was. If you like this, by the way, please let us know, because we just chat rubbish and hopefully somebody will listen.
Yeah.
If you want to follow me, I am at PT Napolides, and if you want to follow Jade, she is at
Purity Beauty Studio. I've got them. Yeah.
And if you have any questions for us, so next week we are going to be looking at creams, predominantly creams for like beauty creams, so like cellulite creams, and like weight loss creams, and how also that looks, and then what that looks like when it comes to training as well. So if you have any questions relating to that, please let us know. And also, if you have used these creams,
definitely,
please let us know as well, because I would love to hear your thoughts on them. That's it really. You can send that to our Instagrams, or you can email me, coachnat@morethanmuscle.co.uk. Lovely. All right, thanks guys.
See you next time.
See ya.
It's a